Night has swallowed the road, and Direwood is breathing around them. Cullen stands watch above a sleeping camp, blood still drying on his hands, the dark razor close enough to draw, and 19 hunters somewhere beyond the trees. Larose burns behind them. The woods ahead are wrong. The air glows, reality bends, and in the silence between exhaustion and fear, something shifts. Not in the forest, in the oath. Tonight, the hunted go deeper. Tonight, the old powers stir. And before dawn, one light will go out. Welcome back to the Dark Razor Chronicles streamcast. This is Season 6, Episode 1, The 13th Point, and the beginning of Book 3, Oath Sworn. The road out of Larose has led Cullen and the others into Direwood, a place that does not welcome the living, the wounded, or the sworn. They are hunted. They are carrying something ancient, and whatever waits beneath those trees may be more dangerous than anything behind them. The dark razor is no longer just a weapon. The oath is no longer just words. And survival may not be the highest price asked tonight. I'm Mike Carmel, and this is the Dark Razor Chronicles streamcast.
Cullen, Avon. Night has finally fallen, and with it, the end of our harassment. In the cold darkness of Direwood, all sleep but me. I exhale slowly, watching my breath take form before fading into nothing. The damp air settles around me, thick with the weight of silence. Luna rises. I can feel her dominion over the land, though I cannot see her yet. My watch has only just begun. I sit on a rocky rise, an outcrop against the valley wall, overlooking both my companions and the two approaches to our encampment. Shivering, I pull my cloak tighter. I am so tired. My hands are cramped, fingers stiff with exhaustion, barely maintaining their grip. We camp without fire. It would not do to be found this night. Today has been the hardest of my life. A day of fright, flight, and bloodshed. We fled Larose as it burned, smoke billowing into the sky, turning the world black. The roar of the inferno, the shouts of those fighting it, the desperate cries of those who could do nothing, it all blended into chaos. And through it, our pursuers came. We met them with violence. 14. That is the number of men that have fallen. Their blood crusted on my hands. It sickens me. My nerves scream from exhaustion as I fight to stay vigilant. Muscles quiver, trembling on the edge of collapse. I shift, trying to ease the discomfort of the cold, unyielding rock beneath me, wishing heartily for the bed I left behind, the bed I shared with Sharael, my charge. Something in me has changed, not just today, but since the contingency. It festers deep, a shadow clawing for dominance. And I wonder, was it the contingency that caused this? Like this place, like this world, so different from the one I left behind. I shake my head, pushing the thoughts away, reaching instead for memories of better times. Marta, the woman who gave us shelter, food, a fleeting sense of normalcy. She opened her home to us in Larose, offering loyalty and friendship. I pray she is safe. I fear we have left her in harm's way. I press my palms against my face, rubbing my eyes, trying to will away the fatigue. In the brief darkness behind my eyelids, a face appears. Arkan Doth, a dwarf of means, of anger, the root of this cursed day. It was he who tracked us into the first inferno, Sansa. He who struck me down by means of cowardice. He who delivered the dark razor back to the garden, hoping to trap us on the streets. He who stirred the razor hunters against us. He is dead now, killed by Terence Farside, an oath-taken like me. Bound to the White Circle, carrying the burden of his father's oath, despite his reluctance, despite his questionable display of honor. But our escape has not gone unnoticed. We left a trail of bodies, of witnesses, of whispers. A city once asleep has awoken, stirred by Arkan's lies, fueled by the legend of the razor. We ran, through alleys, across streets. At first, no one stopped us. But as we neared the west end of Larose, the thoroughfares narrowed, the walls closed in. Desperation drove us through people's homes, bursting through doors, leaping backyard fences, leaving fear in our wake. When we reached the city wall, we knew we could not follow the road. It was too exposed. Backtracking, we stumbled into a fight, and Sean took a nasty cut to his forearm. Outnumbered, though not surrounded, we lured them into an ambush. A small courtyard, a single choke point, a killing ground. We let 3 escape, a mistake. They spread the word, confirmed the razor was real, and with that knowledge, the city rose like a storm. We moved fast, forced deeper into the heart of Larose. The brownstones gave way to warehouses, where, in a quiet alley, 2 men unloaded sacks of grain, a 2-wheeled cart, a warehouse with open doors. "Come on," I had said, pointing. "We can rest here." The workers protested. Swords were drawn. The company converged. We meant them no harm, only silence. A gift from the gods, I had thought at the time. An open door, a place to hide, and witnesses easily cowed. Inside, our eyes adjusted, revealing dust-choked light filtering through filthy skylights. The 2 men, burly but wise, sat against the wall, taking their coin and sitting in easy conversation, showing no sign of concern. Care bandaged Sean's arm, while Dagar perched on Sean's shoulders, watching, silent.
"Can you get this Shinbo away from us?"
Care grumbled, swatting at Dagger.
"He's surely no good luck."
I doubt he means it. If Care truly believed in ill luck, he would never have achieved what he had in life.
"Come first, Parthis.
He had said after a long silence.
We need to secure this building."
I hesitated, unused to my new title, bound by duty to my charge. Leaving her had felt wrong. I looked at Sharael, her clothes and sword bloodied, slumped against a stack of grain sacks. Nearby, Sean sat, fingers pressed to his bandage, his gaze fixed on her, worshipping her. She calls him a believer. Care had told me Sean was a zealot to the cause. I believe it. Despite everything, Sharael's deceptions, her defiance, the pain she has caused me, I am drawn to her. Her greatest claim, that we have traveled through time, I can no longer discount. Not when the evidence is undeniable. The amulet of my oath, a sacred heirloom of my family, has changed. Sharael, Care, and Sean all claim its shifting shape reflects the number of living White Circle, the ruling council of wizards we serve. They must be right. 10 days ago, my amulet bore a single point, as did Sharael's. Now, the same talismans, hers, mine, and at least 3 others, bears 13. Then, there is the garden, the world around me. It is corrupted. tainted. Sharael claims responsibility. My own eyes have seen the blight. My own flesh has felt the rot that seeps through the cracks of reality, thinnings, places where the garden and the infernos collide, bleeding into one another, their skies entangled. Some changes are subtle, others grotesque. Sharael has taken responsibility. I have not yet granted her this fault. But there is no one else to blame. I have sworn to serve the circles and the razor. In this, I protect her. Why my allegiance to her is so strong, I still do not know. The reasons I have stated before are valid, yet she has sinned against me, taken me from my home, stolen my family. There is no returning from that. And yet, she repairs these trespasses with things I value almost as much, things that make the secrets and loss bearable. The world is sullied, truths turn to lies, but in all of it, she gives me purpose. Answering questions my family had no answers to. Never did I suspect the truth could be so fantastic. And there is something more, something deeper. I have begun to feel for her. In the warehouse, Care and I secured the doors and windows, ensuring we would not be discovered. We found nothing of worry and returned to our company as we had left them. Sharael sat slumped on a stack of grain sacks, her face veiled in sadness. I sat beside her. I wanted to speak, to get her mind off our plight, to dig into the depths of things she has buried away from me, but the moment was stolen. A sudden pounding on the warehouse door. The fire was not our doing, yet it served our escape, despite the razor hunter's intent. As the flames spread unchecked, urgency gripped the city. Alarms rose, bucket lines formed. Smoke thickened, rolling over the road, shrouding our flight. We slipped through a side door where the flames raged hottest, lost in the chaos of those battling the fire. Seen, but unnoticed. The disaster granted us a precious head start, enough to reach the western gate without further confrontation. Care had a plan. Dirith would. Sean had protested, but to me it meant nothing. Just a stretch of land less than a quarter-kilometer from Larose. We made haste on the main road out of the city for 5 minutes before the fork. The southern route was barely more than a disused path. The first road marker read, Safe Wood Road, by her favor. The second was older, weather-worn, the letters nearly erased by time. Dirith Wood, by her favor. The T and H in Dirith had been struck out by some vandal, twisting the name to reflect its true nature. Dire. By whose favor? A ruler of these parts? Not in my world. I might have asked, but when I glanced over my shoulder, I counted 19 pursuers. The trees closed in around us as we plunged into dire wood, and our hunters hesitated. They stood at the border, weapons raised, hurling curses but making no move to follow. Would they stop? No. But their hesitation had bought us distance. Crossbow bolts whistled through the air, their arcs falling short, burying themselves impotently into the undergrowth. A few more came before they stopped altogether. Thankfully, none of the crossbowmen were any good at a run. As the night deepened, the company joined hands, moving blind in the darkness. Care, an elf, led us off the path, his night vision guiding him through the warren of shadows. Even then, I noticed it. The forest glowed. A dim, eerie orange. Not enough to see by, but enough to give form to the shadows around us. Behind us, the hunters lit torches. It did not matter. The forest wove its own defenses, twisting roots, unseen pitfalls, foot traps laid by nature itself. We moved carefully, following in Care's exact steps, learning fast that misplacing a foot could mean a fall into folly. The razor hunters vanished behind us. The night fell silent. For 3 hours we traversed the forest, pressing deeper into the unknown until we stumbled upon another route, a road, wide enough for 3 men abreast, a thoroughfare where none should be. A quarter hour later, we found this valley and made camp. Care assigned watches, gave instructions for the shift change. Now, all but me sleep. I exhale. The breath curls in the dim orange light, twisting like a wraith before vanishing into nothing. I stare at my surroundings with trepidation. The forest hums with unnatural hues, growing clearer as my eyes adjust. I can clearly see the 2 approaches without moonlight, see the creatures that stir in the underbrush, and wonder what gives this place such a fantastic trait. As the night air cools, my exhaustion drags at me like a wet cloak. I fight my drooping eyelids. Solitude draws me home, and melancholy finds me. My parents, the last words I spoke at supper, harsh, cruel. Something in my stomach twists. Those words will be a stigma on their memories. I will never sit at cards with them again. We will never train, never cross blades in the sparring circle. I will never share another meal, hear my da's laugh, see my mother's knowing smile. Tears come, as they have so often today. Then, glowing yellow eyes. They flash in my vision. My heart leaps. I rise. My hand goes to the dark razor, drawing it 1/2 meter as I scan the darkness, my breath locked in my chest. What manner of beast have I seen? Where has it gone? I see nothing. I swallow hard. Did I fall asleep? Dream it? I think, yes, for those were Tonana's eyes. The thought does not calm me. My pulse is a drumbeat in my ears, my nerves still aflame. I force a breath. Steady, steady. Tonana, a wraith, a shapely tormentor who haunts my dreams. She taunts, tempts, tries to claim me. Each night she lures me deeper into her world, drawing me closer to her demon master. She tries to dizzy me, to ensnare me in a ploy I have not yet fallen for. She believes I am already touched by her master's hand, that the werewolf who sank its fangs into me set a tether for him to pull. But she is wrong. The disease, the device of their snare, was cured. A poultice given by Sharael under Dagger's instruction. And yet, Tonana does not know, so it drives her. This mystery, this failure, seems to set me apart from all those she has claimed before. Her master tried to take me that first night, and failed. His frustration was clear in his voice, in the snarl of his commands. Perhaps they have never failed before. Perhaps that is why she is relentless. She comes to me again and again, usually naked, usually taunting. She threatens now, speaks of attack, of prophecy, of inevitability. Perhaps she is growing frustrated. Perhaps she believes I will break. She is wrong. The role of tormentor will not work, nor will her wiles. The kiss returns to my thoughts unbidden. Why Tonana would bring such a memory to the surface, I do not know. It was not shared with her. It was Sharael. A tender touching of lips, something I had longed for. But when it happened, my nerves betrayed me. I said foolish, hurtful things, masking insecurity with jest. A deflection, a coward's defense. I had meant to soften the moment. Instead, I had wounded her. Sharael seems to have forgiven me. Yet again and again, I feel foolish, embarrassed. She is over 600 years old. The number alone staggers me. It is one thing to accept that Dagar, a magical cat-like creature, has lived for centuries. But Sharael, a woman who looks no older than 20, who often acts younger still? The thought burns in my chest, and I feel my face redden. I push the embarrassment away, grasping for better memories. Sharael, naive, curious, laughing, her first taste of strong beer, the face she made. I chuckle, a quiet sound in the dark. So many things. So many, many things that make her seem young, a girl rather than a woman. Yet she is mysterious, a force that makes me shiver to think of. Serious, worse, angry, a woman of magic, of wrath, white circle, magus, dia, matriarch. So many titles. None of them seem to fit the girl I see. She had risen to power when goaded by Care Olosis. Even the elf general had cowered before her that day. That moment had prompted Sean to call her Dia, and the renewing of vows had followed. A disconcerting touch of lips between Sharael and Care, binding magic, reshaping oaths, changing the title of Oath Taken to Oath Sworn. Sean had followed. An oath taken carries the burden of those who came before. Forsaking it brings disgrace, nothing more. But an oath sworn is bound in magic, held accountable by it. What form the magic's wrath might take, I do not know. But it is this knowledge that makes me trust Care Olosis's duty, if not Care himself. I am still oath taken, part of a long, unbroken line, as far from oath sworn as one could be. Yet, would my fate be any different if I were to forsake my duty? I think not, for I have been bestowed another title, a binding as great. I remember it well, a vibration, a tremor, the dark razor settling upon me, the sword of power. He who stands before me shall fall, inscribed on one side. He who stands with me shall prosper, on the other. The words are ancient, yet not known in legend, not as I have seen. It was the Avon family creed, once carved over our crypt, a vow I embraced as a child, before I understood the cost. It has served me well these past days. In some twist of fate, the blade has revealed itself clearly to those who stand with me and those who stand against. The binding of my new title was a dancing of light, a fate sealed to me in some unfathomable way, and Sharael had twice offered me the opportunity to decline. It strengthens my belief that the magic of the dark razor is not so different from the magic of oath sworn. Does this concern me? No. My belief in my duty is stronger now than it has ever been. Dagar stirs in my lap. When had he joined me? I do not know. The movement should have startled me, but instead, it brings comfort. I rest my weary hands on his small body. His fur is soft, so cat-like, yet he is anything but. He responds to my touch with a sort of phlegmy purr, slow at first, then rising, gaining momentum like a flywheel. He too seems to glow faintly with the orange energy of this place. His leatherwork straps Kiris, his knife, to his back. But when I let my hands move across him without looking, I feel nothing of the sheath or straps, nothing of the thick flaps of fur that span his sides, linking front legs to back. Dagger in action is sleek, swift, strong, able to leap and glide on those thick membranes. At rest, he is fat, dumpy, almost comical. His mountain cat face animated in ways no animals should be. He smiles, he frowns. He manages to look angry without a sound. His fur draws to points at his cheeks and ears. His hooded eyes droop with feigned disinterest, a ploy. For Dagger is never disinterested. His huge eyes come alive with mischief and excitement when the moment calls for it. Something moves against my chest. Not Dagar. The sensation sends a jolt of panic through me. I surge to my feet. Dagar tumbles from my lap, a flailing doll as he vanishes over the ledge of my perch. I do not worry for him. It is the warmth at my chest that grips me with fear. I slap a hand against it. The heat is rising. My breath catches as the pain sharpens. Frantic, I grasp at the chain around my neck, pulling, yanking, and when the amulet slips free from my shirt, it burns, hot against my bare skin. I hold it at arm's length, fingers trembling, staring in horror and fascination. The oath's beacon glows fierce red, but its shape is changing. 2 of the 13 points rise like snakes locked in combat. They twist, they pull, they draw together. Their forms solidify. The seam that once divided them disappears. 13 becomes 12. I stare at the amulet, holding it at arm's length as it glows fiercely, its 12 points illuminated. It swings slowly from its chain. What has happened? Movement stirs in the clearing. The faint orange light of the wood reveals Sharael sitting up in her bedroll. Care and Sean rise to their feet as Sharael's reach my ears. I stand from my perch and drop to the valley floor. Care and Sean stand in silence as I approach. Sean clasps his hands together, but I catch the red glow of his amulet between them.
First Parthis.
Care whispers as I near. I'm unsure if it's an invitation to speak or simply a greeting. Without a word, I pass him and move toward Sharael, who looks up at me with sorrowful, wet eyes. The transformation means death. One of the white circle is gone. When I first saw the amulet as a child, all points save one have already disappeared. But the cause was unknown. This isn't the same world we left. Events don't follow as before. The amulet only confirms one truth. A member of the circle has perished. But which one? Sharael weeps softly, eventually crying herself to sleep. I return to my watch. Care now occupies my place, bathed in the light of the newly risen moon.
First Parthis.
He whispers as I finish my climb. I nod, still unsure if it's a greeting or something more. He clarifies.
Do you know what it means?
I nod again. One of the circle has fallen. Silence stretches between us, heavy and uncertain. I let it linger. Perhaps he believes I know more, some deeper insight granted by a higher authority. I let him think that, as he did back at Marta's boarding house. The truth is, I know nothing more than what the amulet reveals.
Sean and I will finish the watch. Get some rest.
I hesitate, but exhaustion presses down on me. My body aches, my mind frays at the edges, worn thin by the horrors of the day, the killing, the loss, the endless running. I nod in gratitude. Care places a hand on my shoulder as I prepare to drop from the perch. His brow furrows, his grip tightens, silently warning me of the height, nearly 5 meters, enough to break legs or worse. I understand. Yet, I leap anyway, landing heavily, my boots thudding against the earth. I squat low, absorbing the impact. I weave through ferns and trees back to the clearing. My bedroll waits, set beside Sharael, who still sleeps. Sean lies nearby, snoring lightly. I stretch out, my back aching in relief. Sharael stirs, rolling closer. Her hand grazes my stomach before she presses herself against me. She says nothing, but her concern is clear. Arthesia Grumdeer, her mentor, her friend, was a member of the White Circle. Since we returned to this time, she's held hope that he still lived, that maybe here, in this version of the world, his betrayal had never occurred. But I'm skeptical. Sharael assumes the 13 points meant Arthesi lived. I, however, consider another possibility. Like the oath taken, a circle member could be supplanted, replaced. Farside's line took the place of Sylpht, after all. Who's to say which members remain as she remembers? Perhaps Care knows, maybe even Sean. But I don't want to risk the question.
So, this is where Book 3 begins. Season 6, Episode 1, The 13th Point. Opens with fire behind them, pursuit at their heels, and Direwood waiting ahead. Cullen and the others have escaped Larose, but they have not escaped consequence. The Dark Razor is still in their hands, the hunters are still out there, and the deeper they go, the more the world itself seems to be shifting around them. And then, in the quiet of the night, the oath changes. 1 point gone, 1 life ended, 1 more sign that larger forces are already in motion. This is only the beginning of Oathsworn. The path ahead is darker, stranger, and far less certain than the one left behind. Thanks for listening to the Dark Razor Chronicles streamcast. Follow the show, and if you're enjoying the story, a rating or review helps more than you might think. If you're following the story, stay with us. There's much more waiting in the dark.